Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Designing the Best You. If you are not a part of the community, please go ahead, find us on LinkedIn. All that stuff's in the show notes. We also have a couple little freebies in the show notes as well, so check those out. But today, we are going to be talking about something that's probably a little bit controversial: why job boards are keeping you stuck and what we can do instead. So, this is the place at Designing the Best You where we ditch all the outdated career advice and we start designing a path that actually works for you. Guys, 2025, it's like a whole new world, okay? No, I won't break out in song, okay? But it is really a whole new world. We're in this trust recession where companies are trying to trust candidates and utilize their resources appropriately. Candidates are testing out companies, but we're going to talk about something that's really just tripping up a lot of job seekers right now, right? You're frustrated, you're applying to dozens, maybe hundreds of jobs online, okay? And it feels like you're getting nowhere. And the date of this recording, we're in the middle of the summer and it's even worse. It's job seeking in general is cyclical. So the summertime is actually the slowest time. So you're probably even more frustrated, right? And then meanwhile, we look on LinkedIn, we talk to people at places, at church, and our communities and stuff like that. And it seems like you're getting nowhere, but they're moving ahead and getting roles, right? How many of you guys open up LinkedIn and you see, I've started a new position at blah, and you're supposed to hit that automatic button of congratulations, so and so, right? But what do you do when you're feeling like this? When you're doing the right things according to what has worked in the past and it's not working? Oh, wait, this is what we do. We double down and apply to even more jobs. And then you think, well, that's what everyone else is doing. So I should too, right? But here's our truth bomb for today. Okay. So listen up, turn up those earbuds, whatever. Okay. What everyone else is doing probably isn't working either. So, we're going to be calling out the job board trap, okay, and helping you shift from your focus to where real opportunities are in that hidden job market. It's the hidden job market and the combination, the powerful combination of your gifts, your talents, and your experiences, okay? So, over the years, we've been conditioned to believe that the job search equals applying online. And to be fair, job boards can serve a purpose, okay? I always tell people who are working with me, clients, guys, I want you to apply to the job board. That's fine. But it's like the lottery. Don't rely on it alone for your income, right? It's a losing game. Okay. So here's why it's a losing game. You're one of hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants, and one person wins. Think about that. What are your odds? One divided by 100, one divided by 1,000 is less than 1%. Okay. Most roles are filled before they even hit those public boards. So you're actually only seeing about 30% of available opportunities. Guys, career advisors for years, by the way, have warned, and I'm going to continue to warn you, that relying solely on the job boards, you're ignoring 70% of potential opportunities out there. And worst of all, here's the thing, and this is another truth bomb here, okay? The worst of all is your uniqueness actually gets lost in a keyword filter now with all the AI and stuff. All right. So what do people do? What do they do when things don't work? They apply to more job boards. And it becomes a cycle of you feel like you're being productive, right? We've talked in previous episodes about our childhood trauma and how feeling like we have to check off these boxes to be seen. Okay. And it seems like it works, but it's actually just a cycle of activity that makes you feel productive but goes nowhere, like a hamster wheel or those darn treadmills. I'm like, I hate running on treadmills because I feel I'm going nowhere. I'm just staring at the person's butt in front of me. Real life, right? Okay. So the best opportunities out there, guys, are not advertised. I know it sucks. You have to do the work. Okay. It's discovered, these opportunities are discovered through connections, conversations, confidence, and what you bring to the table. And it's every day you're doing that, especially in this trust recession. Okay. It's the consistency. And yeah, you're going to get rejected. Okay. You're going to get ignored. That's part of life. My kids are legit outside right now doing a, um, a little stand that are selling stickers and some of their old cleaned up toys. And I'm watching them. Some people stop and they don't buy. And then some people just look, or they walk faster, or they ride by and they smile, or they'll honk, but they're getting rejected more times than they're getting seen. And they're not giving up. They've been out there, oh my goodness, they've almost 2 hours in the 93-degree heat. Okay. But let me ask you something. Okay. As a job seeker, are you tailoring your search to reflect who you are, not what everyone else is doing? Okay. Are you tailoring it to reflect who you are? Or are you just chasing what looks available? So instead of asking what jobs are out there, I don't know how many times I get on calls with people and they're like, well, what jobs are out there? Not a bad question to ask, but a wiser set of questions is, where do my strengths solve real problems? Or who needs the most unique combination of my experiences and insights? Who needs that? Or what industries or organizations would value someone like me, even if they're not hiring right now? Guys, I will tell you, and I've said this for years, and it's very true. I have never applied to a job, ever. I have walked in, there's been two ways that I have gotten jobs over all the years. I have walked in and said, this is what I can do. This is the problem that I see at your company, and this is how I can help based on my skills, expertise, talents, gifts. And then the other one is because I did such a good job at other companies, they would poach me. Or I had previous managers bring me over, right? Poach me out. Okay. Here's the thing, when you start with your story, because God created each of you so uniquely, okay? When you start with your story, not your resume, everything shifts, okay? You don't need to be everything to everyone. Today's world, guys, we are trying to be everything to everyone. We're trying to take a job description and shove ourselves into it and be like, this is me. This is me. Yeah, this is mostly me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, start with who you are and what strengths solve real problems. Who needs the combination of my skills and talents, right? What industries or organizations value someone like me, even if they're not hiring? Guys, the companies that I worked for over the years were not hiring. They weren't. They actually internally knew they needed someone, but they didn't post anything. Okay. So, how do you actually tap into this hidden market? I've been talking about the hidden job market since I started this business in 2017. Okay. So, I'm going to actually give you some practical stuff, some tactical things to do. Okay. So, this is where you start showing up for the real opportunities. So if you've got your pen and paper, you guys know the drill, get it out. If you're listening while you're driving or something like that, pull over or listen to it later again and write it down. The first thing you're going to want to do is map your value. You basically have to map out the decision-making process for the company. Okay. Get real about what you bring to the table. Like, what are your core strengths? What do people always come to you for? My favorite one, and this is kind of a little trick that I ask clients in discovery calls, like, what does your mom know that you're good at? Right? But what problems also do you love solving? This is not fluff, guys. This is strategy. Stop looking at the job descriptions. Okay? Stop. And sorry, I'm pointing to the wall here because I've got one sitting up here right now to remind me, like, you don't look at the job descriptions. Okay? You can never be fit into a box. Okay? So you've got to map your value out, right? Your core strengths, your gifts and talents. What do people come to you for? What does your mom know you're good at, right? What problems do you love solving? Okay? That's the first one. The second one is to build real relationships. I know you guys like networking. I'm so tired of it. But guess what? We were built for community, and part of that is networking. I don't care what word you use, community, networking, building relationships. It is all the same thing, but it's not just about asking for a job. You have to start making connections. Imagine if someone came knocking on your door and just asked for a job. That's what you guys are doing by just sending your resume out or just hitting the easy apply in an application. They don't know you from Jack, okay? You start with people in your inner circle. Literally get out your phone and you say, okay, who do I know? And you craft a message, which I have a little sheet for that. If you want it, reach out. Okay. You look through your phone. Okay. And here's the biggest thing. If you're in sales, you know this. Don't think about the emotional connection you have with that person. Okay. You reach out to past colleagues, mentors, friends, and you say, gosh, I haven't talked to you in a while. Hey, you know what? Something was on my mind. What's going on? Here's some questions, guys, by the way. Ask them, what's going on in your industry right now? What are you seeing as the biggest challenge? What are you struggling with? And guys, yes, AI can do all this stuff, but when you make the connections to people, then you're hearing it with their words, which are the words that they're going to be using and listening for, right? Get curious, listen well. Listening is an incredible skill to master. Be memorable, right? Anyone these days can type something in the AI, and I'm not against AI, by the way. It's good as a tool, but anyone can type something in and send it off. You can even type in the AI, say, hey, make it more human, okay? And it does. But when you pick up that phone or send that text, send a voice message. By the way, voice messages via LinkedIn or text or whatever, even through an email, are amazing ways to connect, okay? You want to be memorable, okay? That's huge, okay? Now, the third tip I got is position yourself as a solution, not a job seeker. Guys, I've done so many video series on this, LinkedIn Lives. I've talked to many people on the phone over the years. Start selling yourself as a solution. Y'all hate the word selling, okay? But you really have to position yourself as a solution. You're not a job seeker, because if that was the case, you guys would take anything, right? You want to be a solution to the problem. So instead of sending your resumes out into this void, reach out with intention. Share a story, a success, a perspective, how you think. For example, I will tell you. Now, before I worked at a dental manufacturer, I was brought in for the interviews, right? Okay. They were like, okay, well, we need to have you interview with people. Like, you want a job here. Okay, fine, whatever. Like, you think we have problems. Great. I was able to showcase how you think. My actual in that time frame, the potential manager I'd be working with or under, he asked me one question, one, and it was a problem they were actually experiencing in that moment in the machine shop. He said, "We have this problem. How would you solve it?" First of all, when I was 22, I think I was not expecting that, by the way. Okay. But I sat there for a moment. I thought, and that's actually a huge thing, right? And we've been taught since we were little, think before we speak. Okay. I said, oh, you know what? This is how I would solve it. And would you know, he's like, that's the reason you got hired, not because of your degree, not because of, some engineering, not because you've worked for some of our vendors before and suppliers. No, it was because of how you thought, and you thought differently. And that's what we needed. So here's an example maybe for you guys. Instead of sending resumes, right, reaching out with intention. Hey, you know what? I saw your company is expanding into healthcare tech, and I've worked on similar initiatives. I would love to share some insights or be a resource as you grow, right? Guys, there's so many fractional opportunities out there. And when you say those things in that manner, that doesn't sound like it's coming from a place of desperation, right? That's ownership. You're like, I want to share insights and I want to be a resource. I have many people tell me, you're offering too many things for free. No, because I want to be a resource to people. Yes, I get paid for clients to work deeply with them on their specific issues, but my job isn't to get paid for every tiny little thing that I put out there. No, my job is to share my insights and resources. Think about when you see a good movie. You don't get paid when you tell your friend about the good movie and they go see it, right? It's coming from, hey, you know what? I want to help you experience something, right? So that's really key. And here's the thing. I want to be clear. I'm not saying never apply to the job boards, okay? But if that is your only strategy, You're playing a very passive game in a very active market that needs trust built. Okay. You're not a commodity. You're a solution. You have to sit there and pretend like you're your own business owner, right? And you have a service that you're trying to provide to companies. You're a solution. And solutions, guys, they don't wait around hoping to be picked. They show up. So stop looking sideways and following the crowd. What are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? You're not here to check boxes. You're here to bring value. Your gifts, your talents, your lived experiences are the exact reason someone out there needs you right now. Okay? Don't let that go unnoticed, okay? So sometimes we unnotice our own things. We don't notice our own gifts and our own experiences. So, I'm going to give you an action step. Okay? Yes, I gave you some other things beforehand, but I want you to pick one person to reconnect with today, as you're listening to it. One email, one conversation, one text, whatever. Start there. Okay? Everyone else out there is chasing the algorithm. And by the way, they change it all the time. But you're going to actually be building momentum. Okay? You're going to be sitting there and you're going to be saying, I'm connecting with this person. I'm connecting with this person. Guys, what is the saying? I was trying to tell a friend this earlier today. It's the money is in the follow-up. Everyone wants this big paying job. Everyone wants to pay their bills. Yes, right? You have to keep following up with people. You have to show people you exist and why you exist. Okay? I follow up with people every week. Sometimes I fail and sometimes it ends up being a couple months. I'm going to be honest, but I still keep going back through and I have a process for that. I've been taught something that I like to call the miracle hour, and it's big. Okay. It's big. You take an hour a day, and actually I'll go into it in another episode. I won't even start here because I want to keep this one short and focused, but this is why the job boards are keeping you guys stuck. Okay. Because you don't really bring a whole lot of value when you're just doing what everyone else is doing, right? Okay. So on that note, if this hit home for you, okay, what I want you to do is share it with someone who's tired of doing job searching the old way. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to whether it's YouTube you're watching this on, or Spotify or iTunes or any of the other ones that you're listening to, so you don't miss next week's deep dive on the Miracle Hour, okay? Because that's going to be huge to be talking about for your job search. It's an actual action plan. So until next time, keep leading, keep refining, and keep designing the best you.